going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, it's not often that you hear a president or a CEO of any company come out and publicly say that they've been dropping the ball or failing, but in this recent article from Empire, where we hear from two of the top brass over at Marvel Studios, including Kevin Feige, that's exactly what they did. They took their lumps, admitted their mistakes, and said that it was actually a positive thing going forward. We're going to break down all the quotes coming again from the top brass at Marvel Studios, admitting that Marvel Studios movies lately have been less than, and then also talk about, coming from Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, what the new plan for Marvel Studios is going forward, how many movies and TV shows they are now committed to releasing. They have scaled things back. We have all the quotes and details for you. We're going to break it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner next week to coincide with the finale of X-Men 97. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So again, this was the most recent article posted late this evening from Empire Magazine, breaking under the headline, Marvel's Louis D'Esposito reflects on a rough time at the studio, we're coming back strong exclusive, where they go on to report, quote, there are many remarkable things about Deadpool and Wolverine. For one, it marks the MCU's first serious foray into the formerly Fox-owned mutant territory. It's certainly the first Marvel movie to ever feature gags about pegging. But even more notable than either of those things, it's the only Marvel Studios film set to arrive in cinemas in 2024, full stop. Post-pandemic, and in the wake of a box office sweeping high of Avengers Endgame, Marvel has struggled to reach audiences on a scale that it used to, with recent films like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and The Marvels seriously underperforming. Factor in the overwhelming volume of Marvel stories that have been in the works across cinematic releases and streaming series, and the powers that be declared a rethink. That included dialing down the number of Marvel projects for audiences to digest, hence Deadpool and Wolverine, the only MCU movie to land this year. Quote, it's been a rough time, Louis D'Esposito, the co-president of Marvel Studios, admits to Empire in the world-exclusive Deadpool and Wolverine issue. However, he sees Wade Wilson's mutant team-up, threequel, as a sign of things getting back on track. Quote, if we just stayed on top, that would have been the worst thing that could have happened to us. We took a little hit, and we're coming back strong. That less is more ethos looks set to continue in years to come. Quote, maybe when you do too much, you dilute yourself a little bit, says D'Esposito. We're not going to do that anymore. We learned our lesson. Maybe 2 or 3 films a year, 1 or 2 shows, as opposed to doing 4 films in 4 shows. And that's exactly what Bob Iger said about Marvel's now future plan. They will be releasing 3 movies and 2 TV shows going forward officially. They then go on to say, quote, for Marvel boss Kevin Feige, he's seen the positive side of the MCU being on the back foot again. After all, back in phase 1, that's exactly where it began. Quote, it's nice to be able to rally behind one feature project this year, he tells Empire. I'm much more comfortable being the underdog. I prefer being able to surprise and exceed expectations. So it does seem like the last year, which has not been ideal, has set us up well for that. With Deadpool professing himself to be Marvel Jesus in Deadpool and Wolverine's trailers, it's clearly time for a resurrection. Quote, some of the lines that Ryan and his writers and Sean worked on have taken on more of a meaning, concedes Feige. For director Sean Levy, he's ready to bring a completely different flavor to the MCU, and it might just be exactly what's needed. And then they quote Kevin Feige as saying this, you'd have to live under a rock not to know that the last few Marvel movies have failed to ignite the world in the way that so many did. We do come along at an interesting time, and we are decidedly something different. Whether it's of messianic proportions, only time will tell, to which Empire says, in Deadpool we trust, which is obviously a playful twist on in Kevin Feige we trust, which in Feige we trust is something that people have been saying for quite some time with the MCU. Now, it is really, really cool to hear the top brass at Marvel Studios basically own the mistakes that Marvel's doing and tell the fan base that they know just as well as everybody else that Marvel movies have not been what we expect and as of late. And it's kind of crazy to think that for a studio like Marvel Studios that's been going as long as they did, that they were able to make it as far as they did. Think, guys, sometimes for a film that's simply a trilogy, you only get 1 or 2 good movies, and by the time the trilogy's done, it's completely petered out. They were able to go for so many projects, but with the old CEO Bob Chapek's directive to dilute the brand at all costs and force out all these TV shows and movies for maybe franchises that didn't necessarily have to be made, obviously the interest started to go down inversely from that. And then you take into account the quality of said projects and writing. Not only are you not focusing on the most popular characters from publishing, you're focusing on secondary and tertiary characters that maybe never sold as well as some of the main characters, and then the quality in the writing wasn't there to boot, and one after another you start to lose fans where they still love Marvel. They're going to go to Deadpool and Wolverine in the theater, but as I know from my small friend group, maybe didn't go to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, maybe didn't go to see the Marvels. And so while I fully expect Deadpool and Wolverine's box office to do well no matter what, if it is the type of film that Marvel is advertising it to be, that we are hoping it's going to be and expect that it will be, yeah, Marvel Jesus sounds about right. We have a theory video about what that might exactly mean coming, but Marvel Jesus sounds about right. If Deadpool and Wolverine, the only Marvel film this year, comes out and does really well, breaks $1 billion at the box office, or even comes really close and gets the hype and excitement back there, well, like he said, maybe it was the perfect time. Give everything time to breathe, put out one really good, strong film, and then get back on track, focus on the right franchises, and don't dilute the brand going forward. But the best part about this is hearing the top brass admit that they know things have been a little bit less than means that they acknowledge it, but more importantly, they're working hard to fix it and they're going to change it. And more than anything, all we can hope for is that the people who are in charge of these things care enough to try to make these changes, and it sounds like they do. You guys let me know all your thoughts though down below. A, how hype are you for Deadpool and Wolverine? But how crazy is it to hear Louis D'Esposito and of course Kevin Feige say these things about their own brand? And do you still trust in Kevin Feige? Do you have hope for the future and where Marvel goes from here? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel, and in fact the next one is next week to coincide with the finale of X-Men 97. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the other future giveaways at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. All you got to do, be a subscriber, so hit the sub button, leave a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places: Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.